Good morning. From Fox 5 News, this is Good Day Atlanta at 10 a.m.
Welcome to Good Day Atlanta at 10. I'm Natalie McCann.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Sharon Lawson.
And I'm Joanne Feldman. Here is a look at what is coming up this hour. There's been controversy online lately about 10-year-old kids shopping in stores like Sephora. People are questioning whether it's appropriate or even safe for children to use some skincare and beauty products. We are bringing in an expert to weigh in on the debate. If you have a tween in your life, some high-priced cosmetics and skincare items may have been on their Christmas list. As it turns out, elaborate skincare routines, even anti-aging products, have become all the rage among children. Elaine Sterling specializes in aesthetics education and is the founder of the Elaine Sterling Institute. And she is joining us here on the Good Day Couch with more on this latest trend and ways it may do more harm than good. Such a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much for inviting me. This is a great topic. It has been really trending this week.
I know, it's wild to kind of step back and look at this and see how this has kind of taken hold in this younger generation. Where is this coming from in the first place?
Well, we know it's coming from social media, right? These influencers, and it shows you how tapped in these children are to these influencers. And let's face it, the market is saturated with makeup and skincare. This is now a whole new markup, and they've shown that teens have spent 33% more on skincare and makeup than last year.
Wow.
So this is good for business.
Sure.
But is it good for our kids?
I know, and that's really the million-dollar question, because I mean, I hear like retinols and anti-aging skincare products and kids wanting $200 face creams, and that sounds outrageous. I mean, I guess on the one hand, the idea that kids that age are even thinking about a skincare routine may be a positive, but what are some of the things that they should be looking for or avoiding as far as products or active ingredients in products that they're using?
Right. So, you know, we need to do a deep dive into this, because we know that retinol and retinol palmitates, which are vitamin A, is problematic, right? Because of sensitivities, toxicities. Shouldn't be using it when you go in the sun, and we know our kids are in the sun. So there is actually regulation now in the EU. They've dropped the percentages allowed for skin and body. Here in the Canada and the US is at 1%. But just because something's over the counter doesn't mean you can't be allergic to it, right? And so I saw that they're locking away the men's socks and underwears in Target this week. It's like, maybe we need to lock these things away. Right. They're so attracted to the colorful bottles, the fun names, and they're making things called smoothies or milkshakes, where they're pumping them all in the stores and mixing them all up, right? So definitely, you know, when I was 13 years old, my mother took me to the cosmetic counter, and I got my foaming cleanser and my toner and my moisturizer, right?
The basics.
Right, at the 1, 2, 3. And I was also, I think there's a big difference between 10 and 13. Doesn't sound like it, but in a child's world of development and hormonal activity, right? They don't have that poor development. They don't need those ingredients.
Okay.
You know, we've got to stay away from the retinols and the vitamin A's. Also, you know, anything that says anti-aging is going to have peptides and alpha hydroxy acids and beta hydroxy acids geared towards exfoliation and fine lines and wrinkles, okay? Children don't have that.
Right.
And the same thing with hyperpigmentation or acne type products, high level of acids, high levels of benzoyl peroxides. So we've really got to look at products that are for non-comedogenic, which means not going to block the pore. Fancy word for not blocking the pore. Also, products that have, you know, for sensitive or sensitized skin, they'll have less of those ingredients, but we don't want them on retinol. We don't want them on high doses of AHAs and BHAs, alpha hydroxy acids and beta hydroxy acid, that exfoliate the skin. And then those retinols, and you go into the sun, that can actually affect the DNA. So, you know, I think the cat's out the bag, okay? Right. They're targeting a younger and younger audience, and they have the buying power. Oh my goodness.
Yes,
what
they do.
the expectation. I don't know if you have kids, but my goodness. business, you know, they're influenced like, okay, Mom, you know, inflation, you gave me $500 this year.
Yeah, get me skincare products in a Stanley cup, apparently.
I know. Let's stick with a cleanser and an SPF.
Okay.
SPF is, and a chem-free SPF, please, for the planet and for our bodies and for these kids. So a cleanser and SPF, that's where they need to start.
Okay.
And then, of course, go to your esthetician when the puberty starts so that we can really work on controlling that oil and the bacteria on the skin.
Okay, so basically kind of keep it simple until they reach a certain age there. But man, there's a market there for doing this just right with that buying power, and as long as the right ingredients, I may need to get into a different line of work here.
Well, I've done it since the dawn of time.
I know, you are the expert.
So I love it. Well, you know, and this is Elaine's preference. This is my preference for simple skincare to start out with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
maybe go outside and play with a bat and ball. I don't know. Just saying.
Kids these days know. Elaine, thank you so much for your expertise.
I appreciate
you. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.
And if you would like more information from Elaine, this is where you can find her on social media. We'll also have more information on our website, fox5atlanta.com.